So here we get probably one of the most obvious examples to anybody, even who isn't really paying attention, of the time skip, out of order problem with Clone Wars. Since this episode, the previous episode actually, sorry, happened before Rookies, or Rookies happened in between these, however you want to set that up. But regardless, here we are with this episode just kind of being good. I have to say one thing. Is it just me, or is this episode just much better than the previous episodes in terms of quality? Just across the board. Like, the characters were in character, there was some good action sequences, there was some good character moments, right? 99, you kind of saw his death coming, unfortunately, and there's not really a lot you can do about that, but it was still just, oh my god. And I love the concept, the value of good support on the front lines. A good support, good backup is invaluable when it comes to military affairs. At least that's what I've always been taught and believed myself. And then we've got the ideas like the Separatists are using actual tactics. I think this might actually be the first time we've seen the Separatists use honest-to-God tactics when it comes to this whole thing. I love that idea. All right, we're going to attack with a fleet. Some of the fleet is deliberately, is going to blow up easier than it should in order to put it on the water, in order to underwater make these droids. That was awesome. That was a great idea. If anything, I'm a little bit irritated because, you'd think there would be some scanners set up to detect that or whatever, but it's still a good idea. I'm still at least giving them credit for trying on this one. And I also have to wonder why they assumed that they'd never go back to the Kaminoans. It's like, oh, well, we failed one time, we can't attack again, right? As a side note, I'm curious what exactly they had in mind with Django's DNA. Especially since, as we learned, they're kind of running out. Like, they're getting to the point where they're straining what they can do with that DNA, which I find interesting in its own right. And funnily enough, an episode that I just had go live today, from when I'm recording this, obviously not from when you're seeing this, was the episode Up the Long Ladder of Star Trek The Next Generation, which is all about cloning and repetitive fading, or replicative fading, I forget how it's called. Anyways, so we've got that. But what I also want to know is what the hell is going on between Grievous and Ventress? Like, that is just the strangest amount of character dynamic I've seen between the two. In fact, it's basically the only time the two have really interacted to date. And her comment, you have nothing I want, was interesting in its own right, but that just comes out of nowhere, and I wish they would do more with some kind of character dynamic between the two, rather than what they actually end up doing between the two, which is basically nothing. 99 dies, no. I have to admit, I saw that coming a mile away, even in the original. Not just because it would be the expected thing, but because Heavy already died. And so it just kind of makes sense to fit the symmetry there. Heavy dies, saving his brothers, and then 99 dies, saving his brothers, both having basically inspired the other. So, that's cool. Good episode, surprisingly good episode. So far, we're only 2 in. So far, Season 3 has been noticeably higher in quality. I suppose we'll see how this continues going forward, and I'll see you guys next time.